coming at you live from outside of space and time. I'm Nyiam. Welcome to the feedback loop. I just wanted to make a quick little update. It's been a while since I made a video. Doing it a little different this time. I'm walking through Chinguacousy Park in Brampton, just outside of Toronto, Ontario. Looking at this place today with your physical five senses, it's just a park. They built a whole bunch of little shelters here for people to have barbecues. There's a playground, water park, stuff like that. But if you could travel back in time, you'd find the native peoples of this area. The Chippewa, the Ojibwe, the Mississauga, right? People like that. There isn't much here now that tells you about the history of what was here before, right? But we do have historical records that we can go back and we can verify exactly, whose land this was, who was here, stuff like that. So verification is important. Verification is also important in remote viewing. It's actually an important part of developing a viewer's skill set, knowing that they're on target, stuff like that. So I recently worked a project with crypto viewing as a remote viewer on a project. This was done completely blind. That means that we weren't given any hints or clues or anything. We were just given a target ID, and we worked these targets blind. The target was a UFO incident that happened at Skinwalker Ranch in Utah, and it was caught on video. Skinwalker Ranch has become known for strange events and sightings, and there's a popular TV series out called I think Secrets of Skinwalker Ranch, where they have like paranormal investigators kind of like snooping around, setting up cameras and capturing things. So on one of the episodes, they captured what looked like a UFO object in the sky. So we were tasked that. We worked that as a target. Similar to Chinguacousy Park, where I am right now, Skinwalker Ranch is also built on native land. And the Navajo story there goes that there was some kind of curse put on the land by the Skinwalker, which is kind of like a witch or a shape-shifting demon. The native people basically, they won't step foot on this land anymore because they say it's cursed. Dick Algier, Edward Reardon, Dennis Nappy II, and I, we worked this target. We saw the UFO object. We gave descriptions. You can check out that full presentation at patreon.com/cryptoviewing, or you can go over to the Crypto Viewing YouTube page, and there is some free work there that you can check out. So yeah, we saw the UFO structure and we gave some good descriptions. We produce a lot of data during these projects, and sometimes some of it gets missed, right? So I want to share a little bit of data that didn't make it into the final project, that got missed in analysis. So like I was saying before, as a remote viewer, we rely on verifiable feedback to gauge our accuracy over time. It's fun to work mystery targets and woo-woo stuff, of course. But having verifiable data sets, even if it's just some of the data can be verified, it always helps to kind of like build confidence in the session. And it's important for good remote viewing. So we all saw this UFO type object, which is great. But this piece of data here, I want to bring your attention to, which felt so out of place when I recorded it. I mean, we're seeing UFOs and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden, this data kind of pops up. So when I remote view, I close my eyes to get target imagery, to see what's there. In this instance, I saw a group of native tribal people. It reminded me of a powwow dance. They were following a custom. I heard them chanting and circling in kind of like an invigorating ceremony. So that was an interesting thing to see there. It kind of just got pushed off to the side as noise. But as I said before, the Navajo legend on the land is that there was a curse put there having to do with the native people, some kind of dispute. So it was interesting that I saw some native people in relation to this target. So that is a bit of verifiable data there, which is like I'm saying is important, right? So here's some images of some of the native people, the natives that live around the Skinwalker, Utah area there. So one could argue that, you know, the UFO could be a bug or a bird or something like that, or some dirt on the screen. But what we do know is that the land does have a history. And if a remote viewer can go back and kind of bring some of those artifacts, it kind of helps build confidence in the work. You know, we know that the viewer was on target, right? We know there's some verifiable data. So we have historical records that can help us remember what was, but what do we have to guide us into the future? You know, is there a way to see forward in time? Well, over at Crypto Viewing, you know, our team of remote viewers, we take a little trip to the future once a month. And we try to report our perceptions of what we see being the major news events of the upcoming month. You know, remote viewing essentially allows you to time travel. And, you know, if you're new to this channel, you're probably thinking, you know, this guy's off of his rocker, or he's smoked himself stupid or something like that. But check it out, okay? Every month we publish our data on what we perceive to be major news events that will happen, you know, in the near future. Now, we have a wide range of perceptions when we do this, month to month. You know, sometimes it's natural disasters, political dramas, celebrity deaths and stories, historical or archaeological finds. Some events are commonplace, and so predicting them doesn't really have a wow factor. You know what I mean? If you see a volcano erupting, impressive, but, you know, volcanoes erupt all the time. If you see a flood, and a flood happens the next month, but it's during flood season, well, you know, that's not really that impressive, right? So it's the very unique events that are hard to predict any other way. Those are the really interesting ones. And, you know, those come around every once in a while. There's some really stellar ones. Edward Reardon had one just the other month. It was Nostradamus's lost documents or something like that. And he specifically said that that would end up in the news the next month, and it did. But check this one out here. Here's a video clip of our world events debrief. So this is where we report our perceptions of what we think is going to happen the next month. You know, we do this in advance, right? So this is my data from May. This was recorded in May. And so this is me talking to Dennis Nappy II at Crypto Viewing on one of the events that I perceive that will occur in June 2022.
This is so random. This is such a random story, man.
I wasn't even gonna, and it's funny because it's like, it kind of like builds, like, so it's like I saw a fishing rod and a fish first, so it's like, okay, it's like, am I really gonna draw this? This is a news story, and then I draw it, and then I'm probing, and then as I'm probing, then I see like a flash of this guy holding the fishing rod, standing, you know, over somewhere, and it's like, okay. Fisher story, expertise, training, qualifications, world renowned, like a new record or something. So it's got like a Guinness World Record feel. So maybe someone
It better be one heck of a fish story.
yeah. It's like, I don't know how that's going to be.
Gone from terrorist attacks to military power to, hey, look at this big fish I caught. All right. We have it all here on Crypto Viewing, folks.
So as you can see there, you know, I had this pretty random vision of a fisherman hooking a big fish, and through my probes, I knew that this is going to be like a world record. There's going to be a story next month about a fisherman, a big fish, and a world record. And, you know, as you can see there, we kind of laugh because, you know, why would a fish make the news, right? You got war and all these other things happening around the world. So it's kind of funny when those kind of stories come up. You know, we do get misses in imagination, so we were kind of chalking that one up as a funny little miss. Well, June 20th, 2022, this just hit the news. Man reels in 660-pound stingray, the world's largest recorded freshwater fish. It's hard to comprehend, end quote. and I'll put the link in the description to the news story. The world's largest recorded freshwater fish, a giant stingray, has been caught in the Mekong River in Cambodia, according to scientists, the Southeast Asian nation, and the United States. The stingray captured on June 13th. So, I saw someone catching, I got the data about this happening in May. So it actually happened on June 13th. Measured almost 4 meters from snout to tail and weighed slightly over 300 kilograms. According to a statement Monday by Wonders of Mekong, a joint Cambodian-U.S. research project, the stingray was snagged by a local fisherman south of Stung Treng in northeastern Cambodia. The fisherman alerted a nearby team of scientists from the Wonders of the Mekong project, which has publicized its conservation work in communities along the river.
See a fish this size, especially in fresh water, it's hard to comprehend. So I think all of our team was stunned. The fishermen themselves said that it was the largest fish that they'd ever seen. So I think the whole team was excited, surprised, and also this catch is hopeful. These big fish, it's not just a record. The fact that the fish can still get this big is a hopeful sign for the Mekong River, which recently, the Mekong River is facing a lot of challenges. So the fact that these fish are still getting this big was a good sign.
So there it is. It happened. A world news event involving a fisherman, a big fish, and a new world record. How could I have known that and published it in May of 2022 when he caught the fish on June 13th of 2022? Well, that's because the nature of reality, time, and consciousness is nothing like what we've been taught. So, hopefully that was interesting. Check out our website, patreon.com/cryptoviewing, if you're interested in remote viewing and you kind of want to maybe learn more about how this works, how we use it to forecast cryptocurrencies. Maybe you want to see the news before it happens. It's an interesting community. It's the cutting edge of consciousness research. So, check us out. Thanks for watching, y'all. One love.